All right, 8.6C. Don't you hate it when you have to watch 3 of these videos? Ugh. All right, so there's where we were left off on 8.6B. And let's just kind of keep plugging away at it. I'm going to distribute. And 36 times 4 is the same as 12 times 12. Okay, negative 144. So again, we have an x squared right there, so we are going to move everything over to the left and make it equal to 0. So we're going to move that stuff over. So we have x squared minus 44x plus 16 equals negative 144. So we're going to add 144 again to get rid of that. Add those two together, and we get 160. All right, so again, lots of stuff going on here, but you take one little bit at a time. Follow the rules that we've been doing all along, which there's a lot of them. And let's see. Again, I have a trinomial with an x squared there. So two numbers multiplied together, they give me 160, added, give me negative 144. Let's see, what are they? 80 and 2, 40 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 and 8, 10 and 16. I mean, there's a ton of them, but right there gives me 160, and I can get, if I have a negative 40 and a negative 4 multiplied together, give me a positive 160, added, give me a negative 44. So that's the right one. So x equals 40, or x equals 4. Okay, so there's my answer. Now I need to plug them into the original. So let's move all this up. All right, so my original problem was 2x plus 1 equals the square root of x minus 4 plus 3. So I'm going to put 40 in first. So that's going to be 81. That's going to be 36. This is 9. Square root of 36. That works. Okay, so I know 40 works. Let's do the same thing with the original problem again, and let's put in x equals 4. So we're going to put a 4 there. Got a little bit carried away with my radical sign. So this is 9. 4 minus 4 is 0. So 3 equals, and remember the square root of 0 is 0, and that works. So both of these work. So we have two answers for that. So, holy buckets. There was a lot of work there, wasn't there? Okay. Don't try to take shortcuts. A lot of students try to take shortcuts and do a whole bunch of steps at the same time, and what they end up with is a shortcut. They get done quicker, but they get the wrong answer. So when it all comes down to it, which is worse? Getting the wrong answer and doing it fast, or getting the right answer and taking the time to make sure you do it right? All right, so in this last example, we're going to do one with a cubed root. I don't think there's a whole ton of problems with a cubed root in there, but let's do one. All right, so remember, we are isolating the radical first, then we're going to, what we did before, when this was a 2, like if it was a square root, what did we do to both sides? We squared both sides. Well, because this is a 3, what do you think we're going to do? We're going to cube both sides to get rid of that cube. All right, so let's move this over to isolate the radical. Okay, now we're going to cube both sides. And nothing happens over here on the left except our radical sign goes away. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Okay, not too bad. Subtract 3 from both sides, and we get negative 4x equals 24. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, and we get x equals 24 over 4 is 6. That negative makes it a negative 6. Okay, so now we take this and put it in here. So let's go ahead and let's draw a line here. And let's do our cubed root of 3 minus 4. And we said that answer was what? Negative 6. Plus 2 equals 5. So cubed root of 3, negative 4 times negative 6. Okay. Cubed root of 27. What number multiplied by itself 3 times gives me 27. That's 3. There we go. That's a true statement. So our answer of x equals 6, negative 6, is correct. All right, so we got a few minutes, so let's look at a couple of these problems that have to do with this harder stuff and see if that can help you get started here. So here's number 40. Okay, so first step, isolate the radical. We have 2 radicals, one here, one here. One of them is isolated, so that's good. Second step, square both sides. So that gives me 2y minus 3 equals, I'm going to put those as 3 minus the square root of y plus 2 times okay. Now, let's go ahead and do the FOIL method to that. First terms, which would be the 3 and the 3, equals 9. So the F is done. We have the O and the I and the L. So let's work on the O right now. That says outside. This one and this one. So this is a minus, so it would be 3 times negative square root of y plus 2. So that would be negative 3. Okay, so F is done, O is done. Inside would be this and this. Minus 3. Okay, takes care of that. And then last, and let's just kind of do this. This one times this one. Negative times a negative is a positive. And that's squared. We're multiplying it by itself. All right, so let's go ahead and simplify. Okay, these two brought together. And because the squared is on a radical, the squared and the radical all go away. All right, now let's see if we can start combining stuff. Got a 9 and a 2. All right, so let's move this and this to the other side. So we subtract 11 and subtract a y. Okay, now let's combine what we can here. 2y minus y is 1y. Negative 3 minus 11 is negative 14. Okay, I'm going to see if I can move everything up. All right, so we remember on the last one I did, when we had a radical with a number multiplied, we kind of stopped there and we squared both sides. So that gives me the negative 6 squared and y plus 2. Radical comes off of that because of the squared. Let's do the FOIL method. Distribute. All right, all the radicals are gone, so let's start moving everything together. So, make this equal to 0, so we're going to subtract 36y here. Subtract 72. Plus 124 equals 0. All right, so now that we're clear down there, get everything back here right. There we go. We're going to see if we can make these into two binomials with a y there and a y there. So, two numbers multiplied together give me 124, added give me a negative 64. And I'm just going to put the answer down here rather than go through each of the ones we do. So it would be 2 and 62, both negative, because negative 62 times negative 2 is positive 124. Negative 2 plus negative 62 is negative 64. So my y possibilities are 2 and 62. So I plug each of these in to the original problem, and you will find out that 2 works, 62 does not work. So even though you get two answers, only 2 checks and works. So hopefully by doing that difficult one there, that's enough to help you get started, and you will do fine on that. The good news is that we are done with the chapter on radicals. The bad news is, just because we're done on the chapter doesn't mean they go away forever. They come back, and you will use them forever and ever. Amen. If you were taking a history class, you do the Civil War, and once you're done, you're done. You don't have to look back at it, but in math, you always have to look back. So, anyway, good luck on this. Keep the questions coming as you're doing this and having some struggles.